Hey everyone, welcome back to my garden. Today is October 4th. It's starting to really cool down here in Florida, and it's not so unbearable outside. So we haven't been getting much rain again here in Central Florida, but I guess that's just what we're gonna do this year, is just not rain. But that hasn't slowed much down in my vegetable garden. And yeah, there's some medicinal plants and herbs and lots of good things still growing in there, and I just want to walk you through it and show you what's happening. So to start off, I wanted to show how big this pigeon pea plant has gotten. So this has been here almost a year and a half now, almost like going on 2 years, not quite. And it started as a tiny little seedling, and it froze back last year, and then I had to cut it way back, and it flushed out again, and it gave me blooms and more beans or peas. And then it is so windy right now, and then now it has just gotten ginormous. There's actually a grasshopper eating, a lubber eating it, but it's fine. And if you look closely, it's about to start flowering again. So I have one here, I have one over there, I have one over there, I have like 5 on the property. And I love this plant because it is so easy to grow. It takes drought conditions, wet conditions, sun, shade. It gives me forage for myself, as well as it creates a windbreak wherever you put it. And also, when I need some mulch or whatnot, I can cut this down, and it is just a free source of nutrients for my garden. So it is a great plant. I really recommend growing it. And it is about to be loaded with yellow flowers and be so pretty right now. So that is number 1 in the October garden. Like I said, there's another one over here. This one is not as old. This is only a few months old. So coming in the garden now, I did this major cleanup over here. My key lime trees, they are just about done producing. I still have a few key limes on them, but I've been getting them sporadically to ripen, so I've had to resort to making tiny little dishes with them, not huge. I don't get an abundance at once, I should say, but it is still putting off blooms. This kind of blooms all year long, so it's pretty cool. This one and the one over there, I grew from seed, actually, from the tree that I grew up in my childhood home. So they're pretty special to me. Let's see. Over here, it's kind of an unruly mess right now. So this trellis is got so many winged beans on it. So these are a native variety of a green bean, but they don't look or taste at all like a green bean. I guess they just are a bean because of the plant family they're in, but they don't taste like it at all. I've been really enjoying them either in a stir fry, or I've been dipping them in hummus. It's a really great way to, get your veggies. Plus the flowers are super gorgeous. And then I also have loofah growing on here too. I just picked one yesterday to eat. Yes, you can eat loofah as long as you pick it young. It doesn't turn into the spongy loofah gourd as you know it. I have some yard-long beans on here as well. Let's see. Oops, I dropped my beans. I have lots of marigolds in the ground right now. The marigolds are here solely as the purpose of controlling nematodes in my soil. So I ended up with a pretty bad root knot nematode infestation with the beds over there. So now I've loaded them up with French marigolds, probably too many because I over anticipated how big they were gonna get. They were supposed to be dwarf, and they're not that dwarf. So I ended up with like, I think 40 plants, but I sporadically placed them throughout the garden where I knew there was some nematode issues. So far, everything else that's growing there are in the brassica family for the fall, and I'm hoping that I don't have any issues with nematodes because they're not as susceptible to that as other crops are. One of the cool things I'm growing right now are daikon radish. I actually have to come in and do another successive sowing of it because I want to have it all winter long. So there's the purpose of this plant is twofold. A, I have really been enjoying making my own kimchi because I wanted, well, for one, I love kimchi, but for two, it is such a good thing to eat for your gut health, and I figured kimchi's expensive. I can grow all this stuff really easily. Last year I made bok choy kimchi and it was to die for, and traditionally you put daikon radish in it. So I grew a very quick to grow daikon radish last year. This year I'm growing, it's a different variety, but it should produce around the same time as my other veggies are ready for the kimchi making. So those I kind of just sprinkled all around my garden. I realized after I stopped recording that I only gave you one reason why I was growing it. The other reason is that daikon radish foliage, once you turn it into the soil at the end of the year, can also deter root knot nematodes. So yeah, that's the other reason why I'm growing it. Let's see. Here, this is my dino kale pot. So dinosaur kale is a really great kale to start growing this time of year because it can take some warm weather. We are cooling down a bit, but it's still Florida after all, so it's not that warm or not that cool. So started those. I seeded them twice in that bed over there, and for some reason I couldn't get them to germinate. So I started them in a pot, and I'll transplant them soon. Let's see. Here's a tomato. This is a Cherokee purple tomato, I believe. Yeah. This guy is doing all right. It does what tomatoes do in Florida. So, I don't know. Fall is the best time to grow tomatoes in Florida because we have a lot less disease and, fungal pressure, but still it's not the greatest. So we'll see how many tomatoes I get this year. Let's see, there's not much going on right here. This is a huckleberry plant. So huckleberry I put in my garden mainly as a trap crop for aphids, stink bugs, what have you, because this year there's been a lot more of that. And of course I don't spray for anything. And I think it's been working. I haven't had too many issues with the bugs elsewhere, but I will be able to harvest these berries. I'm going to make some jam or huckleberry syrup, I think. And I have a couple, and I know I'm going to let a few of them dry so I get the seeds. So keep that in mind. Grow trap crops that insects really like instead of spraying, because then you still keep the balance of good bugs and bad bugs in your garden. So this bed is laden with French marigolds. I have seeded calendula on that side of the bed. In the middle of the bed, I did an experiment here with I got a free pack of mixed kale greens or something. I just wanted to see if any of those were warm weather hardy, I guess you'd say, tolerant. And so far they're coming up okay. I just did them as like a baby green. I didn't want to devote too much space into something I didn't know how it grew. So I actually had to take out a couple of the marigolds. I put so many in here. Look, this shading, that one. I'm probably going to have to take that middle one out because this is going to be my majority dinosaur kale, some cabbage, and regular mustard greens. In the front yard I have my giant red mustards growing, so I'm not gonna devote any space to those back here. Over here, oh, and also the calendula I wanted to point out. So I grow calendula to make a calendula salve. Oh, there's ants. Jeez, ants are the bane of my existence. So calendula is one of the medicinal plants I grow. Like I said, I grow it to turn it into a salve. I harvest the flowers and dry them, and then I soak them for about a month or so in any kind of oil, and then I melt it together with beeswax and then make a calendula salve. And it's really good for your skin, any irritation you have, sunburn, eczema, and it really does work. So I'm really heavy on the calendula this year. This is my second planting of it. My first planting I actually have just started to get flowers from. I will show you that right here, what they will look like in about a month. So here are the other calendula plants that I started over a month and a half ago, and they're huge in my green stock container. And I have my first bloom. So this bloom is perfect to pick. I kind of just pop it off like that, and I am going to start drying them. So from now until they don't even die in the frost. So now until next year, I'm going to have drying calendula flowers probably all over my kitchen, which is never a bad problem to have. But you'll see it's starting to produce here, and then we have more plants all the way around. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is a magical little ingredient here. Highly recommend growing if you're into making your own salves and herbal medicines. Cannot go wrong with calendula. So calendula is going to be heavy in my garden this year for its medicinal properties. You can also eat marigolds. The leaves are pretty lemony. I haven't made marigold tea or anything, but right now the purpose of it is amending my soil to get rid of the nematodes, or to deter the nematodes, I should say. Let's see. This bed is primarily going to be marigolds for the soil, but also the Asian green bed. So I mentioned me making my own kimchi, and I can't make kimchi without some sort of Asian green. So along this border, you can't even see any. Actually, there's like a couple popping up there. One maybe right there are Napa cabbage in this side of the bed, and then that over there I have seeded Benelli, stop, come. I have seeded bok choy. Bok choy is my favorite Asian green. And I was about to come out here and sow some tatsoi, which is a kind of like a spinach, but it grows really well in the winter here. And for some reason, I don't have the seeds. And I collected seeds last year from a lot of greens, and I can't find it. So I'm going to have to buy some, which is a bummer. That's the whole reason why I collect my own seeds. Collecting your seeds is much more cost effective than buying them. From one plant, you can get seeds to feed your neighborhood. And on this side is a trial Asian green. It's a type of mustard that I got for free also. And then I think that's a weed. I seeded chamomile in here twice. I seeded something else in here, and none of it germinated. I'm not really sure. I think I had a snail problem. So, it is what it is. Here's my sweet potato thing. Stuck under there. So the sweet potatoes are not quite ready to go yet. I'm hoping I actually get sweet potatoes from this. I've neglected this bed completely. Oh wait, no. I feel something down there. Hopefully. Yep, there's potatoes in there. So I'm gonna give this a drink of water in a little bit. That needs a little water. Sweet potatoes are really drought tolerant, but they do need some water. So we'll do that. while I am thinking about it, I'm going to show this bucket. So this bucket is full of weeds from my garden. And I need to come out here and get a bigger bucket, like a trash can, and put a spout on the bottom of it. Because what I do is any weeds that have seeds in them that I don't want going in my compost bin. Oh, there's ants under there too. Shit. I put in this bucket and I fill it with water and close it. Well, it basically makes your own fertilizer because it's all breaking down, and then I can use the water on my plants. So that is a very easy, cheap, well, not cheap, but free way to get some good fertilizer for your garden. And it gives you a place to put the weeds that you don't want spreading from your compost. Because my compost doesn't get hot enough to kill weed seeds. So I would have them germinate wherever I, use the compost. So this trellis was beautiful about a month ago, and then I noticed my loofah gourd vine had root knot nematodes at the base, and I thought I had 2 vines growing up here, so I cut one out, and the one I cut out was actually doing great. So the roots were awful, but the vine itself was still producing and making big loofahs. So now I've killed it, and no more loofahs from this vine. But I don't need any more big loofahs like this, so I'm letting them just dry out here on the vine. The front yard has a lot more of them. I use loofahs to make soaps for people and myself and my family. I use loofahs as sponges. I haven't bought a sponge for your kitchen in about 3 years because I just have so many loofahs. And the best part is once they get yucky, just throw them right out in the compost bin. So it's a completely sustainable ingredient for your house. Let's see. Here's some volunteer mustard greens popping up. So we'll just let those do whatever. There's some more daikon radish, a couple more beans that I planted in here. It's kind of to the point where it's the end of the summer and it's just now getting nice enough where I want to come out and actually tackle a bunch of these projects. But you can't go wrong. It's still pretty out here. It's just finding time to actually be out here for more than a few minutes. It's pretty hot out here even though it's been windy. This plant right here is a holy basil. It smells phenomenal, and it is probably my number 1 recommendation for a medicinal plant to grow. It is so versatile. It has so many health benefits. I make it into a tea. You can make it into a pesto. You can just dry it and put it with other ingredients. It is such a good plant to have. When it goes to flower, it is great for the pollinators, and that's kind of why I let it just do its thing. Some kind of bug on there. And yeah, so it reseeds itself readily, so I will not have to worry about ever growing holy basil again. So keep in mind holy basil, and it grows kind of all year long until the freeze. So, and one of the cool things, I'm actually going to be bringing some of this to a friend. It helps control blood sugar, some studies say. So if you are a person who has diabetes or onset diabetes, that might be a plant to look into. So I'm excited about that one. Here's the first of my fall veggies. Look at this. Got caterpillars in here. This is a cucumber, 2 cucumbers, and I think this is the lemon cucumber. At least one of them is the lemon. The other one might be the Suyao Long. But the lemon cucumber is actually, looks like a round lemon, but it's a cucumber. So this is my first time growing this variety. And I'm growing the Suyao Long also, which that's also my first time growing this variety. Fall is a great time to grow your cucumbers in Florida because it's the same thing about the tomatoes. We don't have the pest and disease pressure this time of year, but it's not completely gone. So I do still come out here and I pick off caterpillars. You can, look at that. Come here, little bugger. You can use something like BT, which is Bacillus thuringiensis, to control caterpillars in your garden. You just don't want to get it on anything that might have a pollinator type caterpillar on it, like a milkweed, or the swallowtail butterflies utilize the key lime trees or any citrus trees. Don't get it on anything like that because it will kill those caterpillars too. I'm going to actually come in here and sprinkle greens all along this. I never want to have bare soil, and that is what I have going on right here. So actually, while I'm just standing here recording, I'll go ahead and sprinkle. This is going to be kind of like a cover crop, all on the ground here. Oops, I dropped something. Because, like I said, you don't want bare dirt because that's just where seeds from the weeds are going to get in. And the mustard greens, I can eat them. These are an edible mustard green. They're not just like a seed grown for a cover crop. I actually harvested these myself, but as you can see, I'll never be able to eat that many. So I have bare dirt right here. We're going to get rid of that. So I have yarrow growing here that I transplanted. It looks really bad, but it'll come back. And more, look at this. So this is more holy basil. So it just pops up everywhere. You can, pick it and it'll bush out like regular basil. So you can grab some, bring it inside. I pretty much have fresh holy basil all the time. It smells so good. I have more, I think these are winged beans. Yeah. More winged beans growing on this trellis. And then I have more yard-long beans growing here. I get so many beans from this now. I guess the a little bit cooler temperatures, So I think my camera cut me off, but we're back. Anyways, so yes, mustard greens, self-sowing on the ground here is what is my hope. I have some things like nasturtiums popping up. This is a great cool season flower. It's also edible. Kind of tastes like an arugula. It's kind of spicy. I did seed some cosmos in here. A lot less of them came up than I wanted. The drip irrigation in here is decent at keeping the ground moist, but it's not great. I need to come and adjust how I have it set up to keep the ground more moist than it's doing now, and I plan on doing that in the next couple days. Here is one of my roselle bushes. I am really hopeful to get some flowers off of it because the calyxes are edible. They taste kind of like a cranberry sauce, they say, and I can make tea out of those. Alongside that is the cranberry hibiscus. This is another favorite in fall in Florida. It is also edible. The flowers, or the leaves taste, like I said, cranberry. It's not only pretty, but it's got medicinal properties as well. And in the late fall, it will start blooming these deep mahogany flowers that are gorgeous. There's a little patch of, I came and weeded this a little while ago, but I mean, nothing's going to be perfect here. But this is all yarrow. This creates pretty flowers in the spring. It is also medicinal. I have a homemade antibiotic making right now using yarrow. So stay tuned for the finished product of that. I posted a video of me harvesting it. And I actually have another video of how I put together the salve. I just haven't, or the oil. I just haven't put that out yet. Here's another cucumber plant doing great. And this pot, I have lots of things mixed in. I have cucumber, daikon radish. I have cosmos. I have a tomato. So this is all in like a 30-gallon root pouch, and then I'm starting to get cucumbers off of it. I just saw them. Where'd they go? I saw you. Oh, right in front of my face. Yep, so we're getting some cucumbers. And we're circled back over here. It's another tall, I lost my train of thought. No, roselle. Roselle here, cranberry hibiscus there. Both medicinal, like I said. And then we have more winged beans over here. So I'm getting lots of these guys. Lots of good nutrition out of these. And like I said, Asian type greens and beans all do really well in our climate. We have very similar climates, and yeah, it's just a match. How things grow here is just crazy. And like you see in there, they're all hanging down. So I am going to have to freeze some of these because I can't quite eat enough before they go bad. So that's a good problem to have. So yeah, it is a very pretty, windy, sunny day here in Florida. Oh, and my blackberry plants, I'm going to be transplanting those to a bigger pot sometime, probably in the early winter. I don't know. Soon. I don't know. Oh wait, also here, I just wanted to mark for myself. A lot of these videos I mark, or I just record just so I can, you know, remember where I do things. There's more daikon radish and some, I think they're Thai soldier beans here. So yeah, so I am going to go enjoy the rest of my day and look forward to showing you the rest of the property in the coming days. So it has not been raining, so a lot of it is not as pretty as it was last month, but you know what, that is what it is, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.